Hi guys, my name is Joe Campana, and today I'll be showing you how to play your first scale called the horizontal E minor pentatonic scale, and I'll also show you how to use this scale to start creating some of your own ideas. So first off, what is a scale? A scale is basically just a set of notes that sound good together. So there are some other definitions that we could use, but that's just putting it really basically. It is just a set of notes that sound good when we play them together. We can play those notes in order, like I just did. We can play them backwards. And also in a little bit, we'll talk about how we can use all those notes in different ways to kind of get more creative with it. And build some patterns with it. So this is one of my favorite things to show people because not only does it build dexterity in our hands, it also really helps us get familiar with the fretboard. And most importantly, it's really helpful with building a strong foundation with starting to create music. So when we play guitar, a lot of people just want to play their favorite songs, which is awesome. But another reason people like to play guitar and play music in general is so that we kind of have that creative outlet. We can create music, create ideas, and express ourselves on the instrument. So this is one of my favorite things to show my students, and a lot of my students also love this. So I hope you also find a lot of enjoyment out of it as well. So that being said, let's take a look at how we can begin playing our scale. So when we're looking at our horizontal E minor pentatonic scale, first off, we notice that all of our numbers, all of our frets that we are going to be playing are on our high E string, okay? And as a reminder, if maybe you are forgetting your strings or maybe you just don't know them yet, we have E, A, D, G, B, and E. So we have low E, A, D, G, B, and high E. Eddie, 8, dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. So once again, we can see that all of our notes are located on the high E string. To start things off, we have 0. We then have 3, which is our first dot. We have 5, which is our second dot. 7, which is our third dot. 10, which is not on our dot, it's actually right next to our dot, our fourth dot. And then 12. So all together, one more time, we have 0, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12. When you're playing this, you can use one finger. You can really use any finger you want to. If you want, you can practice with all of them. Personally, when I do it, I like to start with my pointer finger, and then I shift to my third finger or my ring finger, and then I finish it off with that ring finger. I don't know why I do it like that. It just seems to work out well. It just seems nice and convenient for me. So we can also go backwards with this scale. So we could start at the 12th fret here, go to our 10th fret, 7th fret, 5th, 3rd, and open or 0. Okay, so one more time. We have 12, 10, 7, 5, 3, 0. So something to keep in mind when we're playing this, on our way up, we are hitting the first dot, the second dot, the third dot. We are going right next to the fourth dot, and we are hitting the double dots on 12, right? So with that being said, if it happens like that on the way up, we are going to be hitting those same exact spots on the way down, just backwards. So really try to use those dots to your advantage. That's why they are there. They're to help us visualize where we're at. They're just a learning tool for us, okay? So another way that we can practice this is not just by going straight through it like we just did, but instead playing it with some different rhythms, okay? So you could do something like this maybe. It's okay if you repeat some notes. So there's really no wrong answers here. You do obviously want to try to stay on the notes that we were playing with our scale, but you have free reign to kind of play through it however you want to, rhythmically. Once again, no wrong answers. Technically, obviously, we just want to stay on those notes that we were playing. If you do happen to play a wrong note, and go off of 0, 3, 5, 7, 10, or 12, it's really not the end of the world. Worst case scenario, maybe you actually find a note that you weren't expecting, and maybe it sounds nice. It's happened to me before. Sometimes some really cool ideas come from quote-unquote mistakes. So it's nice to play the notes that we're trying to play, but if you want to explore, go ahead and try to explore a little bit too. Okay, so once you feel comfortable playing through your scale up and down, both steadily and also rhythmically, you're ready to start creating some ideas with it. And we're going to do so with 3 different concepts. So a couple things to think about as we're creating these little ideas is we can obviously go up in sound, just like we played it. We can go down in sound. We can also just repeat notes, which is a really easy tool. Okay, so let's take a look at some ideas that we can maybe do. So for this first idea, I'm going to start on the 12th fret. You just heard me do it actually. That's a really simple idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes. And most of the time we're just playing 12. 12, 12, 12, 10, 12. Let's pay attention to what we're doing when we play this. We're starting on 12. 1, 2, 3 times. We're moving to our left to the next available spot in our scale, and then we're going back to our right to 12. So one more time, we're playing 12 3 times, moving to our left to our next available spot, which is 10, and then back to 12. Okay, let's build another one. So on this one, I'm starting on the 5th fret. I'm going 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. One more time. 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. This one I have my starting spot on 5, and I'm moving to the left, back to the right, left, back to the right. Both of those ideas are only using 2 frets. This one we'll use 3 frets for. We'll make it a little bit different. Okay, so this one I'm starting on 5 again. I'm moving to my right, and then I'm moving back to my left. That's a nice, easy idea as well. Okay, so once you can play some ideas, we can actually take our next step, and that's taking those ideas and moving them to other spots. So that's why when we're doing this, we don't want to do really, really long ideas. We want to keep it nice and simple so that it's easy to remember, so that we can now move it to different locations, and you'll see how it helps us create more ideas. So let's start with our first one that we had. 12, 12, 12, 10, 12. We can move this anywhere. I'm actually just going to take this to each location in our scale, and we're going to follow that concept of the starting note 3 times, moving to our left, back to our right. Okay, let's try that on the 10th fret. Starting note on 10. We're going to play it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, move to our left, back to 10. We can also do that on the 7th fret. Starting note 3 times. To our left, back to our right. We can do it on the 5th fret. And we can also do it on the 3rd fret. So even for this one, we have our starting note 3 times. We move to our left in our scale, which is just the open high E string, and then back to the 3rd fret. Okay, let's try it with our next little idea that we had. So for this one, we went 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. We'll move it to 12 here. 10. 7, 5, and then we can also do it on 3. Let's try our third idea. So this one we started on 5. We moved 2 spots to our right, so here we have 5. Our next spot, and then we went backwards to our left. We can do that also on these other locations. So let's start on 0 this time. My next spot, back to the left. I'll do that again. We could do that starting on 3, starting spot. I'll do that again. 3, 5, 7, 5. We could do it on 5, my starting spot. Over again, making sure to hit the spot in the scale, and then back to my left. 5, 7, 10, 7. And we can do it with one more spot. 7, 10, 12, 10. Okay, so this is one of my favorite things to do as well. So once we have some ideas, we can actually take the next step and we can just do what we were already doing, but just change the last note. And this opens up a whole nother realm of possibilities for us. There's our original idea. Now I'm going to change that 12, which was our last note, to 10. Now let's change that 10 to a 7. Let's change it to a 5 now. 2 more, we'll change it to a 3. And then we'll change it to a 0. So from that one idea, we have 1 idea, 2 ideas, 3 ideas, 4 ideas, 5, and then our 6th idea. Okay? So from that one simple idea, we now have 6 total ideas. So if we do that with our other 2 ideas, we will have 18 ideas as opposed to just 3 ideas. So that's why it's very helpful. Okay, so let's try this on our second idea. We're going to change that last note to all the other spots of the scale. Let's start with 12, 10, 7. We already did 5, but we'll do it again. This one we'll do 3. And then last, we can do 0. So once again, we started with 1 idea, and we have a new one. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, which was our original one, 5, and then 6 ideas right there. Okay, so for our last idea, I'm actually going to give you a little bit of a different way to approach it. So for the other ones, we changed the last note of our original idea, right? We had our first idea, and we changed the last note, right? We had our second idea, and we changed our last note. Now for this one, we're going to keep all 4 of our notes, but we're going to add an extra note. So let's check that out. So that's me hitting 12. That's my added note. Let's add 10 on now. So as you can see, everything is the same, but I'm adding that extra note on there. Instead of 4 notes, we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This time let's add 7 on. We can add 5 on now at the end. We can add 3. And we can also add 0 on. One more time, we can count through these. We have 1 idea. We have 2 ideas here. our third idea, our fourth idea, our fifth idea, and then our last idea. So once again, we went from 3 ideas to now 18. So it's a really easy way, following those 3 concepts, to get a bunch of musical ideas and to begin creating some of your own ideas. And one more thing, a little easy bonus that you can try out for yourself is we did all this on the high E string, but you can actually move this scale to any of the 6 strings. So there it is on high E. You can do it on B. You can do it on G. So any of the strings will work. You can just take those ideas, copy and paste them, or try creating new ideas on the different strings. Sometimes changing the strings not only helps you with just getting used to the guitar, because obviously it feels different when you move from string to string, but also it can generate some new inspiration to play some different ideas as well, just because it sounds a little bit different. All right, so that's about everything. This is really awesome to learn, very helpful, very fun for many people. Hopefully it's fun for you as well. If you do this, you'll have a really strong foundation for just beginning to create music, and you'll have a really good understanding of how to start using scales. And there's many other scales that we can learn, but you'll have a really good understanding of how to begin using your scales to start creating and not just play them mechanically, right? Our scales are there to help us out, not only just to get our fingers to move faster, but mainly it's there to help us make music. So with that being said, I hope this helped. If it did help, please like and subscribe. And until next time, God bless.